down and sideways markets, how to time the market, and how to limit the risk on all trades using a patented rules-based strategy to only at Online Trading Academy. Call now for a pair of tickets to a free half-day class in Broward or Palm Beach to see if it's right for you. You'll also get a copy of the Wall Street Insiders Kit packed with valuable trading ideas. Free. Call now. Online Trading Academy. 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510.
AM 740, 103.9 FM, and 96.9 FM. Your complete source for the information you need. Online Trading Academy presents Trader's Edge with Blake Wasser several times daily. AM 740, 103.9 FM, and 96.9 FM. Your complete source for the information you need. The Bankier Law Firm presents Law and Taxes with Adam Bankier and Brooke Eisensmith. Thursdays at noon. The Money Talk Radio Network is WSBR Boca Raton, W280DU Boca Raton, and W245BC Lauderdale Lakes.
This is the Schmidt's Yard. Company's coming soon, and, oh, Schmidt, their deck and outdoor furniture's been dominated by dirt. But no worries, there's plenty of time for Scott's Outdoor Cleaner Plus OxyClean to work its magic. Its fast-foaming action lifts dirt and wipes out stains from moss, mold, mildew, and algae. Guaranteed. All while being safe to use around plants and grass. Because when company's coming, dirt's not invited. This is a Scott's Yard, available at the Home Depot.
Every home is unique. That's why I, the Orkin Man, rely on science.
Come on in. Honey, will you turn that off?
Wow. Tent in the family room?
Yup. This little lady's trying to earn her Calico Camper badge, but we can't go outside.
Mosquitoes?
Yeah, they have us stuck indoors.
Well, if you want to take this camp back outside, I can use the latest science from our entomologists to help protect your yard from mosquitoes.
But do you get a badge for that?
Yep. This red one right here. Orkin. Pest control down to a science. Visit Orkin.com for a free estimate.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060. If you suffer with diabetes,
We make it our business to know your business. South Florida's Money Talk Radio.
South Florida's Money Talk Radio.
WSBR.
if you suffer with diabetes, there's a 20
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. Well, what about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Want to lower your rate and payments, get rid of mortgage insurance, or get cash out? Find out about your best refinance options by tuning into the Get Mortgage Fit radio show with Alex Michaels and Carrie Kasem, Thursday afternoons from 3 to 4, where you'll learn everything you need to know about mortgage loans, today's rates, FHA, VA, and more. Call the Get Mortgage Fit show Thursday afternoons from 3 to 4 on WSBR at 800-827-RATE, 800-827-RATE, or visit them online at newamericanfunding.com, NMLS 6606.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Seibel. I'm excited to announce my new show called Ask Robert, which will be on Fridays from 3 to 4 p.m. I'm an attorney and public speaker. I began my career in Wall Street and formed my own law firm over 30 years ago in New York and Florida. I've specialized in tax planning for celebrities and high-income individuals, as well as representing corporate and international business transactions. I am currently associated with a global commercial real estate and business financial company. On my show, we'll be covering stock market wrap-up for the week, as well as mortgage financing, investing, real estate, insurance law, and other general subjects of interest to you with my very fascinating guests. I also plan to have a special Ladies' Day 1 week a month to cover issues of greater interest to women, such as divorce, social, and financial matters, with very special female guests. Now, let's on with the show. Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to my show, Ask Robert, the Women's Prophet. This is Robert Seibel. I'm delighted to be with you today. We have a very, very interesting show. I just want to again repeat that the purpose of this show mostly is to answer women's financial, legal, and social issues, and we try to do create a wide range of subjects in those areas. Okay, so today's show features my guest, a lady named Mary Silverstein. She's an expert in the area of cryptocurrencies. It's a subject that all of us have been hearing a lot about, and today I think we're going to be able to learn a lot about this area, especially those of you who know nothing about it and about the subject of Bitcoin. Let me tell you a little bit about Mary, who's going to be coming to us momentarily from live in New York on Split Screen. Mary is, in fact, a consultant, business owner. She's an investor, has done her own stocks since 2011 with a great track record, and has fallen in love with cryptocurrencies, as you know, Bitcoin. She is currently writing a book, and she can be found also on Twitter at BLU, Blue with no E, Angel, Mary, M-E-R-R-I, Blue Mary Angel. Okay? Now, her article also appears on a web medium, medium.com, which is a basic explanation of how and why Mary became involved with cryptocurrencies. So with that said, welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you.
How are you? Okay? Can we hear you? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so let's get right into it, Mary. Why should we care what Bitcoin is?
Well, why did you care when the car was invented, the radio, television, or the internet? These are things that we all use all over the world every day. This is what Bitcoin is going to become every day. More and more people are using it in more and more places. Okay.
And why is, what is exactly a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency?
So basically what cryptocurrency is it's built on a blockchain, a block of algorithms that are made individually and then they're chained together. A blockchain which is not hackable and can store data and has a ledger. And on top of it, they put software called cryptography. When you put it together, that's how a Bitcoin was invented. It was invented by someone we think is named Satoshi back in 2009.
But again, just so I'm clear, is a Bitcoin, though, actually a coin, like a nickel or a dime or a quarter?
No, it's digital currency.
Just
software.
digital, just digital.
Just digital.
Okay, but it is true that there are a limited number of them, like when they issue. Is that correct? In the finite universe of Bitcoin. Is that right?
And they formulate them. There's a certain number that will be able to be mined, to be made. Bitcoin will have a maximum of 21 million. There are currently 20 million in existence.
Right.
So that will limit how many there are, and therefore I think the price would go up.
Okay.
It's part of the price in any coin.
Okay, I see. All right. And just one final question in this area. Now, when did Bitcoin first come out on the market? How long ago?
So we believe that Satoshi invented this in 2009. And we call it, the value of it back then, a Satoshi. It was 7 decimal places.
Mm-hmm.
So it was worth way, way, way less than a penny.
Yeah.
And if you think about that, here we are in 2018, and today it's worth $7,500. In January, it was worth $19,000.
Right. I read an article just very recently that the Winklevoss twins, the guys that were behind Facebook, who Mark Zuckerberg took the whole concept away from, apparently, they invested in Bitcoin, I think, when Bitcoin was at $10, and now, of course, and they're billionaires today as a result of that. Amazing.
They are,
amazing.
And they continue to stay in this industry. They have a website called Genesis. We're here in America. We can put in our American dollar and convert it over and have coins.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So why would we want to use a Bitcoin?
Okay, that's a very good question. So our banks have limits. Bitcoin has no limit, no application, no ID needed. We can have privacy. You can send money at any time, anywhere in the world, in seconds for maybe a penny. You have all the freedom you want. It's your money. You pay tax. You should be able to do what you want with it.
Right. Now, of course, I've heard all kinds of people touting, and I get all kinds of market newsletters. In fact, I got one right here, and it says it's from a World Opportunity Investor, one of the many market newsletters I get, and it says why cryptocurrencies are just getting started. And, of course, the author here thinks that the Bitcoins are literally, well, they're at 7,000. I know it's been as high as 20,000 or something near that. But this fellow seems to think they're going to go to 100,000. What do you think? Yeah, any thought?
I do agree. First of all, Bitcoin at the moment has 7 transactions per second. As they create newer coins for the currency purpose, some could be faster. However, Bitcoin is the most common, most used in the world, and is being redone from 100 different angles. People who create this data and software are able to work on it and make it even better. It's also going to have what's called a smart contract. That's like a receipt from me to you. And no one else knows that receipt exists unless I give them my numbers.
Right.
And remember, the numbers are strictly 18 digits and letters combined. It is not my Social Security, my name, or my email address. It's just a bunch of random numbers that I have. I give it to you. You send me money. I send you money.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty safe. It's pretty private, unless I make a mistake.
Okay. Let's go back a step, though. You're talking about Bitcoin, but let's go more into the whole general title of cryptocurrency, because I know that there are other cryptocurrencies out there other than Bitcoin. So just, if you will, just spend a moment or two. What's the whole area of cryptocurrency? Are there other coins out there? Are there other types of crypto? What are we talking about?
Okay, so at the moment there's about 1,600 coins in existence, and they have different purposes. They are not all meant to just transfer money from one person to another. The second coin for crypto that came is called Ethereum. Ethereum is really what we call a protocol. It's a utility token. It's something that we use to build upon other tokens to send, to function. So there's often layers that we build one upon another, and now they're able to build things parallel and next to each other.
I see.
Again, this is something that we cannot touch. It's not tangible. This is digital. This is coding. This is data. So it sounds really hard to understand sometimes, and then you back up a little, and then you think about it again, and then you kind of get it.
Yeah.
And that's also why I wrote the article in Medium and explains how I felt, that at first this was a little bit, what? And then I go back and forward, and then I slowly got it, and when I really got it, I said, wow, this is the future, this is amazing, this is freedom, and it can't stop.
All right, okay. I was just approached recently at a seminar. Somebody was touting them. They got into, and I don't want to get confusing the issue here about blockchain, but somebody suggested that they had a coin that was only 20 cents, and that this was going to be, it made sense from a leveraging standpoint to buy something that cheap. But I know, it's like buying something, other kind of investment, which is common versus something that's very rare. Which one has got a greater chance of appreciation? Do you want to buy a $10 stock that could go to 100, or a penny stock that might go to $1? And of course, we know that penny stocks could become worthless. What's your opinion about these very, very cheap, kind of cryptos that are out there?
That's an excellent point. So imagine this was the very beginning of the stock market, and there were no stocks yet. There wouldn't be stocks that we would be buying at 50 or 100, or Amazon today at 1,600. everything would be starting out very inexpensive. So many of these start out at 4 cents, and years ago even less. When Ethereum, the second one, was invented, many people that I know that got involved then was buying it for $1. Today it's at about $600. And that would have been pretty great investment if you didn't sell along the way.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So you can make the most money from buying something today that's maybe 4 or 5 cents, as I do. It could go up 5 times, 10 times. It could literally go up 1,000 times.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it's almost incredible. You know, when we look at what's been happening, like, for instance, with marijuana stocks, which have had a huge run already in the last 2 years. Some of them have gone up 1,000% or more. But when you look at Bitcoin, it's almost phenomenal, the success of people that got in very early, of course. Now, if you buy a coin today at 8,000, I mean, granted, it could go to 80,000, but it went to 20,000 in January, and then it fell back down. So it's not a sure thing. Is that correct?
That is correct. There is nothing sure, and this is a volatile market. It's still the very, very beginning of something that in 10 years from now, everybody on the planet will know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And they will understand it, and they will use it, and everything, every business, everything in your life will function on the blockchain.
Right.
It's unhackable. It is factual, and there's nothing bigger that has ever happened in our history of any of our lives that's going to change the world more.
Right.
So
right.
It's pretty incredible.
Interesting, fascinating. I mean, like I said, in all my life, I don't recall anything like this. Although people like to talk about the tulip mania that occurred back in Europe in the 1600s, when the price of tulips, just went out of sight, and all of a sudden the market just collapsed overnight. And there are some people, I will tell, and I know we're talking very positively about Bitcoin and crypto today, but there are some naysayers. There are some people that say, beware that this whole market is somewhat artificial and that it's being pumped up and that it's being, there was an article just the other day about how it's being manipulated already in Wall Street. And so we have to recognize that this is still an investment that's not it's not a sure thing, although it looks very good. Would you say?
Yes, I agree. It's highly volatile. You do your research. You do not put 100% of your assets in there, but maybe 5 to 10%. And if you put a little bit in a few things that you feel strong about,
right,
1 or 2 of them really hit, this is a lot more money than you can maybe even make in the stock market.
Okay.
Although you can make 5 times your money in the stock market in 1 year lately, this is going to be way bigger because these products are things that we truly need, and they are fantastic products. I studied them for quite a long time.
Okay. Well, particularly my women viewers out there, many of whom have gotten a sum of money. Either their husband passed away, they were divorced, and they've been left with a sum of money, and they want to be careful now. Maybe they're heading towards retirement. Maybe they're still in their working years, but they want to protect whatever monies they have. And often you hear about diversifying of your investments. Some people say, well, if you're interested in gold particularly, don't put more than maybe 10% of your investment in gold. And maybe I'll get to that question in a moment about comparing crypto to gold. But if somebody were sitting with, let's say, $250,000 today in a retirement account, would you advise putting 5% of money into Bitcoin, 10%? Do you have any thoughts on that line?
I would say between 5 and 10%, and I would absolutely diversify it between many different coins. And before the coin is able to be a completed project, it has to usually raise funds. And when it does that, it's called an ICO, like an IPO would be on Wall Street.
I see.
And you can buy in then for literally pennies.
Okay.
Some of them that are open to the public, you can buy in for even $100. So imagine we all have different amounts of money, but if all of us can put a certain percent in, all of us could do well together. And for me, that is the goal for our world. I'd like to hear the words third world country really removed and not exist.
Right.
And we can redistribute a drop of these funds all around the world by not wasting them in certain areas like bank fees or Wall Street, who takes a lot of this money for themselves. But we can do this ourselves. And so when they raise those funds, there's a lot less money needed to create these products. The expenses are lower, and they can do crowdfunding.
Right.
And we can just go on their website, send in some money, they send us coins, and we hold them, and we trade them.
Okay. All right, fine. Let's go to the next question. How does cryptocurrency compare to the U.S. dollar?
Well, today our dollar has quite a lot of debt behind it. It's supposed to be backed by gold, but I don't think that that's the case anymore. And I'm just sticking to the U.S. at the moment. Forget about countries like Venezuela. We also print apparently as much money as we want. Do you know how much they print? Because I don't. And how much does it cost to make all that money? How much does it cost to make a penny? I think it costs more than a penny. So to me, this is a waste of our tax dollars, which we don't really know where they go or how much is spent on this. And we could remove all of those wasted monies by switching to digital.
Right.
And we can see where all of the money goes from A to Z, because all digital money is tracked by a ledger. That's what it's built upon.
I see. So if one were getting involved with crypto, is it necessary to have a home computer to be able to keep track of their investment? Do you keep it on your computer screen? Or, how do you keep, or do you go online, or do you do e-trading? What's the best way to do this?
So if you want to buy some coins, say you bought 5 coins today and you want to keep track, we have some apps that are fabulous that you can use. One is called Get Delta. That's the one that I personally like. And another popular one is called Blockfolio.
Uh-huh.
And not only should you do this from day one, because if you buy Bitcoin and then a week later you buy another coin using the Bitcoin, it needs to track if that Bitcoin has gone up or down. You're already invested. You don't buy and then sell for cash and buy. You use from coin to coin. So you do want to track all of that.
Right.
You can also set limits in there. If you want to know if that coin goes down to a certain number or up to a certain number where you would buy or sell, you can put a limit in there. You will get a notification on your phone. So It's really organized, and it's a 24/7 market that never closes.
I see.
So at any moment at 3 in the morning, you can get on your phone. And
so if I want to suddenly sell my coins, I can do it myself, or do I have to call you or call a broker? How does it work?
This is all about us. This is about decentralization. You are in charge of your money. So you will have passcodes that you cannot lose, but you are in charge. And you can go on and buy any coin you want in any website you want. And then I personally would recommend that once you do that, you transfer them back to a wallet. I'll explain to you if you'd like. There's many kinds of wallets. But you want to keep your coins safe. A coin itself is not a hackable thing. It's on the blockchain. But a wallet, alive in the Internet, could be hacked. A website storing your coins could be hacked. So you don't want to leave them in the trading site for too long. You typically want to move them out to your wallet.
Now, from what I understand, Bitcoin is already being accepted as a means of payment at certain, hotels, various other venues. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and obviously, as it grows in popularity, I would assume more and more institutions and stores and vendors will be accepting it in lieu of dollars.
I was just paying my computer repairman yesterday, and he said, I know you're into Bitcoin. I accept Bitcoin if you'd like to use it. My friend just told me he paid for lunch yesterday in San Francisco using Litecoin. There are some very fabulous stories about Bitcoin being used all over this world for 4 or 5 years. And one of them that's interesting for all of us is a woman in Afghanistan started a business and only hired women to work for her. And she would give them a paycheck, and their husbands would steal their money. She found out about Bitcoin 4 years ago and said, you put these wallets in your phone, and your money's going to appear there. Now it's yours to keep. So there's a lot of wonderful places that this is used that has changed people's lives. There are people that have no money on this side of the world, and the foundation I was working with, we wanted to raise money and send them $1,000 to furnish their home, and they said, we can't afford a bank account. You can't send it to us. We said, wait, get this wallet on your phone. And every store in their country took Bitcoin. America's very slow.
Now, from what I understand, I mean, a couple of years ago, it seemed, and I came out of Wall Street for many years, it seemed like Wall Street wasn't even recognizing Bitcoin. Again, they thought it was like a fad, or it was just something that was somebody thought up, and like stamp collectors. People. It's just reserved for a certain type of people. But it seems to me, and I'm asking you, Wall Street seems to be taking real recognition of crypto now. Is that right?
Yes. So not only has Wall Street gotten involved in investing, I personally know of 5 Wall Street funds that have put over $1 billion each into crypto. Of that, they're doing maybe only 10% Bitcoin, and the rest is what we call altcoins, the other coins, the ones you may not have heard of.
Uh-huh.
Someone like me, I've heard of most coins, at least in the top 40 or 50.
Right.
Okay, and we look at their market cap and their value and what they're going to do and who they can work with and what they're... And so there are coins that are worth $5 billion, $10 billion. These are real investments. Wall Street is very, very interested. They are really getting involved, and they've also done futures on Bitcoin, and they're now looking to do it on Ethereum, the second biggest coin. And that's why there's articles being published this week about manipulation, because those futures are going to manipulate our coins. And again, this is what we try to get away from. We're the anti-Wall Street people. We want freedom. We want decentralization.
Okay. So how do you know so much about cryptocurrencies? How did you get involved? And, give me an idea of why I'm asking you questions.
So I kept hearing Bitcoin and saying, I don't want to hear about that bubble, that Ponzi scheme. And finally I sat down and I started to read a little. I got a little interested. I'm going to throw $2,000 in this. Let's see what happens. And the more you read and the more you get connected to it, the more you learn. And when I realized that this was global money, I got very excited that we could change our world, that we could be together as one instead of always fighting, that we don't have to be Republicans, we don't have to be Democrats, we can be libertarians. We can all be on the same side, and we can help each other. Why do we have to have banks and government taking money that we don't even know they're taking, and we don't know what they're doing with it, when we can actually be in charge of our own money?
I see.
But let's be us.
Okay. Now, is cryptocurrency hackable? Is there some way we're talking about digital currencies here, with computers? Is there any danger?
So the crypto itself is not hackable. But again, where you put it, where you store it, could be hackable. The safest place to store your cryptocurrency coins is what we call a cold wallet. It looks like a cell phone, or smaller. You would plug it into a USB port in your computer. You would send your coins from the internet right into your wallet, and then you unplug it. It is no longer on the internet. It's not accessible. It cannot be hacked. You can also use a paper wallet, where it gets printed out on a piece of paper, and then there's numbers on there that you would put back in if you wanted to send that back to somewhere else. You just store that in a safe, and there are people that do like it. They rip it into 4 different pieces, and they put it in 4 different safes.
So now, just so I understand, and obviously everybody just about in the world now has an iPhone or some type of smartphone. And typically now, like for instance, I guess Starbucks was one of the earliest ones. They started creating accounts that you could keep at Starbucks, and now you go up to the register and you just flash your app and it deducts the amount from your account. Is that pretty much what's going to happen now with the Bitcoin? You'll have a Bitcoin account and you'll have an app, and then if you go and you want to buy a loaf of bread at the supermarket or whatever, you just flash your Bitcoin app at the register, and will they be able? Will Amazon are they already preparing to take Bitcoin? Give me an idea. How there are going to be practical applications for buying and selling.
So my first answer here is that Overstock.com started taking Bitcoin in 2014.
Right.
And Patrick, the owner, understood what a Bitcoin was and said, this is incredible. This is phenomenal. And he wanted to get involved in this too. So there are places that we have been that take it. We're not noticing. But when you go to the store and you want to use these apps in the future, what will happen is this store might only take a Litecoin. So in your phone, in the app, you can just switch over from one coin to another and transfer your monies over. I bought recently into an ICO for people to go to the doctor. And so when you go to the doctor, you'll use this coin. And again, we'll just transfer it within our phone.
Right.
Every day they're creating better and better products that we can use to do this. It will get simpler and simpler. But I have friends that laugh and say, what do you mean? We just paid for Bitcoin in the store yesterday. What do you mean they're coming out with? We're already doing it. So it just depends where you go. Again, the United States is very slow.
I see. All right. Now, what about, again, I have my iPhone. There is an app now. What's the main app site for getting prices on a Bitcoin? I think there is one. Is that correct?
Yes. So the one that we typically use as the standard is called CoinMarketCap.
CoinMarket?
CoinMarketCap.
Okay.
And so it tells us at that moment the price of that coin. It lists up 1,500 coins.
Yeah.
It tells us the market cap, what that is actually worth at that moment. And I can even look in my phone and tell you, for example, what it says.
Right.
I probably use it 3-4 times a day. I love looking at everything. And so, for example, Bitcoin at this exact moment is $7,442.28. It tells me how much it's moved in the past 24 hours,
right.
past 7 days, market cap. And the coins are in order of market cap. The coin that has the most value down. So the top coins have $1 billion and up in market caps.
Now,
the market cap of all the coins total at the moment is $330 billion.
Right.
By the end of this year, it will be way over $1 trillion. We were at $840 billion in January.
Okay. Now, to get that app, do I go to App Store and click it? How do I get that app? How does one get?
CoinMarketCap. I believe there's one Litecoin. They're coming out every day with more and more. This is a really big field. You can get anything you want. There's sites in the internet that literally move in front of your eyes, just like the stock market would.
Mm-hmm.
Every 3 seconds, they flash and they change. If you want to be that interested in it.
Okay. Now, in addition to going like an app store, can I just go on the internet and say, how do I buy a Bitcoin, or how do I get the Bitcoin app? Or is that doable?
There's information, unbelievably so, in the internet. In fact, if you're not that talented using computers, YouTube has video after video showing you how to do everything.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
How to set it up, how to store it, what to do with a wallet. There's one on just setting up your wallet. So there's fabulous things. You put it on pause, think about it, you take your time. It's really, really easy if you just follow the instructions and just don't put pressure on yourself. Take it easy. Remember that it is important that when they give you these passcodes, they're going to give you 12 words. Those cannot be replaced.
Okay.
You must put them somewhere that it's safe, but they say not in your computer. So you have to think about it. Well, where do I put it? If I put it on paper, I could lose it. If I put it in the computer, they could steal it. So my joke is, well, I have it tattooed on my butt.
Right.
Right. I can't lose it.
I got you. Okay. Listen, I'd like to just take a little break for a word from a couple of our sponsors now. If we'll just take a few minutes, and then we'll resume, which a really fascinating discussion. I love this subject, and I love learning about new things. Okay, so one of my sponsors is a company called Frolic Financial. Frolic is run by a fellow named Mark Frolic. Mark is an experienced estate planner and life insurance gentleman. He's representing major companies, including Mass Mutual. He's been in business many, many years. I have referred a number of clients to him. He is really, really super bright, super creative. He handles all kinds of financial and estate planning, insurance needs. I would encourage you, if you have such a need, to consider calling Mark. Mark is right here in Boca Raton, but he's very mobile. He can go to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, wherever you may be. He can be found on his phone number, which is Frolic Financial, 561-807-8707. Again, 561-807-8707. If you do call, please tell him that you've heard about his show, or rather, his company from my show, Ask Robert. And while we're on the subject, by the way, I don't think I mentioned to you earlier when we first started the show that the show can be seen on YouTube and Facebook. On YouTube, you can now get the show by dialing in AMP AMP 2 TV and then scrolling down to YouTube. And on YouTube, you'll get to the show Ask Robert, and you'll be able to see my show and the past shows. It saves the shows. You'll be able to see all of my shows since inception. On Facebook, similarly, all you need to do is type in Ask Robert, INC, Ask Robert Inc., although the complete name of my show, again, is Ask Robert Inc., The Women's Prophet. But you'll be able to find me on Facebook, the same thing. It saves the shows. You'll be able to see the show even after our live airing. Now, I'm also on AM/FM radio. The show is broadcast on AM, on 740 AM, and 103.9 and 96.9 FM. So we're getting some good coverage. The show really appears from all the way from Orlando down to Miami, and we hope to be appearing in other cities shortly as the show grows and grows in popularity. Now, also, you can find me on my email address, which is robert@askrobert.co. Not .com, but .co, C-O. I'll be happy to take your questions. And furthermore, you can call into the show, although I don't know if I'll have time today, but you can call into the show at any time at 888-721-0074. Again, 888-721-0074. And that's our call-in line to the station. And on future shows, we will be handling questions. We may have some time for questions today. We'll see as the time goes on. If you do have a question today, please feel free to give us a call. All right, with that said, let's also talk about another company called Global Loan. Global Loan is an international global loan broker that brokers international commercial real estate transactions and business transactions. They handle loans from $1 million to hundreds of millions, and they operate, as I've said, internationally, although they're based here in the States, in New Jersey, New York, and Florida. They will take your application for loans from anywhere, and will do business virtually anywhere in the world based upon the need and the type of deal that it is. They can be reached at 800-878-FUND. Again, 800-878-FUND. Now, you may not have a deal. Somebody that you know may have, in fact, a type of project that needs commercial funding, a commercial real estate project. They're about to buy a property, renovate a property, construct a property, buy some land, any of those. If you know somebody that does, then by all means, I would encourage you to call Global Loan. They are very, very experienced. They've been doing this literally decades, so they have ultimate experience in this area, and I think it's well worth your effort or the effort of one of your colleagues or friends, associates, relatives to do that. Once again, 800-878-3863, FUND. And finally, I want to mention again, as I have in the past, that if you're going into business, I don't care if you're starting in your kitchen, your garage, on your computer, by yourself, with your neighbor, with your friend, your partner, one of the first things in business that I've always stressed as a lawyer and a businessman is to look good, to be well-groomed. People like to do business with people that look good, that appear good, that speak well, but also that are groomed very well. And I cannot encourage you enough that it is really, really vital that you have proper grooming. And where I go here in Boca, literally every week, is a salon called Salon Oasis. They're a full-service salon. They're located on Glades Road, 6100 Glades, corner of Andrews, and it's probably one of the largest salons I've ever seen, and I've spent most of my life in Manhattan, spent a lot of time in L.A. now down here in Miami for the last number of years in Broward and Dade counties. But the truth is that Salon Oasis, they've got 20, 30 chairs. They've got so many people working there. The people, Michael and Jeff, the owners, are delightful people to work with. Their stylists are highly professional. They're colorists. They have manicurists. They do pedicures, manicures, waxings, just about everything that you can imagine. And they handle mostly women, but they certainly handle men, as I do go in there periodically. So I encourage you, if that's your need, I think you should look into Salon Oasis. They can be reached at 561-482-9610. Again, 561-482-9610. Okay, so let's get back to Mary now, and let's continue with our show about cryptocurrency. And she's back on. Okay, Mary, we're back. All right, so let's get back. I have a couple more questions which were occurring to me during the break. Mary, I, for many, many years, designed pension plans, profit-sharing plans, all kinds of tax-sheltered programs for my clients. A lot of them had a lot of money. They wanted to shelter their money from the IRS. Would a cryptocurrency investment be, in your opinion, a suitable investment for a retirement plan now?
Absolutely. Again, I believe in diversification, but I certainly put 5 to 10% of those assets in cryptocurrencies. That's probably not Bitcoin, but things that are smaller that have much more room to grow. If 1 or 2 of the 10, let's say that you pick, or 5, get really big, you'll be really happy.
Are you aware? Have you had any clients up to now that have bought cryptos, Bitcoins, in the name of their retirement plan as opposed to in their own name?
That's interesting. That's what I'm talking to people about at the moment. They're opening funds legally that are just for that.
Right.
I believe they have to do certain things to convert them to a crypto fund as opposed to your stock fund. They're not all in one together. They're kind of separate.
Can I own a Bitcoin in the name of my corporation? Can I do that?
There really is no name. If you're talking about tax purposes, yes, why not?
Okay.
Absolutely.
But again, it's not a problem. I would assume it's not, but I just wanted to confirm that fact. All right. And so, and now let's get also another question that I've had raised recently. I know I have one of my friends does a lot in arbitrage. He'll trade, dollars for francs, francs for rubles, rubles for pesos. He's dealing internationally with currencies, and he's watching constantly the price of various currencies and trying to take advantage of the swing and getting advantages. Has that starting to occur? Do people trade Bitcoins for Ethereum, Ethereum's for another Bitcoin, or is that a little too sophisticated?
So in order to buy any of the coins, you need to have Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin to come in and trade. You cannot just come in with fiat, with dollars.
Uh-huh.
You have to first go to a site where you convert it into one of the few coins on the top, and then you go into a trading site. So that has to be done. And yes, well, if I sell a coin, I'm now selling it to either Ethereum typically or Bitcoin, and then it might sit there, and then I might find something else I want to buy. So yes, I go from coin to coin, but that's why we must use those portfolio apps to track. So while I've cashed out that coin and made a profit, it's sitting in a Bitcoin or Ethereum. We then need to track where that goes. Is it going up? Is it going down? And how much? And then I buy something else. So tax purposes, these sites will all give us information at the end of the year that we can hand in, but it sounds a lot more complicated than when we buy a stock and then we sell it and we turn it back to cash. So they will give us the printout. It might be that big, but we can do it. We have to do it. That's the law.
I got you. Now, I'm used to turning on CNBC every day. I have monies invested in the stock market, and I turn on CNBC, and I'm looking at the tape, and I'm looking at the, remember the anchorman is, and he's telling me the Dow is up, the Dow is down, the NASDAQ is up, the Dow is, the NASDAQ is down, S&P is here, the S&P is there. Are we going to be, as an owner of Bitcoin, am I going to be looking at my iPhone during the day and seeing and getting not only the price of the Bitcoin? Am I going to be seeing the volume, which we get on CNBC, the volume of the market, how many shares are being traded, or is that not really relevant?
It's all relevant, and yes, you will, and yes, you can, and yes, I in the morning when I wake up. It is already on CNBC. Brian Kelly just showed on it. This week it's been quite a lot. They have certain topics that are hot, and people want to speak about it. We have Bitcoin, we have Bitcoin Cash, which one's better, et cetera, et cetera. We have a YouTube CNBC guy, Rand Neuner, and he's fabulous. He tells us about a lot of new products and interviews the creators of all the top products out there. He interviews the most knowledgeable people in the industry. He's a good person to watch on YouTube. But this is becoming very mainstream, and CNBC will have more than one show coming out within a month or two that you can watch on crypto. They have already made a series for Amazon all about the creation of Bitcoin with the real creators in it, and I have friends now filming a Netflix series about Ethereum. That series will show you, again, the real creators. It's like a documentary. It's being done by a producer who's an Emmy Award winner, and it's actually going to be very entertaining, and you will learn a lot.
Okay. Now, I'm used to, like, an investment, for instance, in gold. I can go online and ask immediately, what is the price of gold per ounce at this very moment? And then I can call any one of a dozen dealers, and they make a market, and there's usually a bid and ask. You know, I guess there's a little bit of a spread between what they'll buy the gold coin back from, or whether it's an American Eagle or what have you, and what they're selling them at. Is that the same concept with Bitcoin? Am I going to be buying it at, X dollars, and if I want to sell it, I'm going to be selling it at slightly less?
Okay, so if I'm into a place like Genesis or Coinbase, with my American dollars or my credit card or my cash that I transfer in, I have to buy it at their price. I can use a different site if I choose. There's many sites, but I have to use their price. To another site, let's say Binance, which happens to have it's one of the biggest sites. It did $1.8 billion in the first quarter of 2018. $1.8 billion. This is the same amount as the Deutsche Bank. So it's up there. And in there, I can just do a market buy, just like in the stock market when I trade myself, whatever the price is at the moment, or I can do a limit. I can do a limit sell and a limit buy. I can make it as high or low as I want.
Right. Okay, which raises another question in my mind. So is there an official price every day of Bitcoin which is set, like, across the country, so that if I'm buying and selling a Bitcoin in California, there's no difference when I'm buying it in Florida, or is there a spread? How does this work?
Okay, so that's a great question. So at the moment, we have so many sites that we can go into all over the world, in Korea, in China, in Japan, not just here in the United States, to trade our coins. So therefore, when you go into CoinMarketCap, or the price of Bitcoin at this exact second, they're trying to take an average from every site. So that's why it could change so much within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
24/7, it's live. The time is different all over the world. When we're sleeping, they're buying and selling on parts of the world. So it's always over at that moment. That's as good as we have it right now.
Okay. So again, then, if I want to sell my Bitcoins, I have several options. I can sell them myself, online, or I call you if you're. I mean, are you like a broker now? Can you buy and sell coins for me? Or?
No, but if you want to buy in larger quantities, let's say you're a fund and you do want to buy $100 million of Bitcoin,
right?
And you go, there are brokers and there's larger sites called Circle for people who are using much larger quantities, and they might even get a discounted price sometimes because they're buying a larger quantity. So it's one movement. So they might say, well, we want like 1% off. We're going to buy all this from you right now. And again, as you're closing and signing up and buying, that price changes every second. But that's what the funds have to do. They have to come in. If they want to buy $1 billion worth of coins, they have to start with $1 billion of Bitcoin and or maybe Ethereum and then take those coins to buy the other coins.
Okay.
It's a huge purchase right at once.
Okay. Now, are there any other places that I can buy Bitcoins? I mean, I can't go to the. I can't. There's no like. I can't go to somebody buys. You can go buy stamps at a stamp dealer, or go to a store or something. Can I? Are there Bitcoin quote dealers or Bitcoin shops or places where one can go?
Bitcoin machines, yes. So, I live in Miami already there.
Right.
And there were several Bitcoin machines there. Australia has many.
Really?
You can actually put your cash in, and then you take the digital currency and you put it in the wallet, whichever way it works. Whether it's on paper or you just you can put your cash in and put it there. So by Western Union, they're not going to exist.
Right.
Because if I want to send my money to another country, I put my cash in, I put it in my phone, get the app done, they have it 3 seconds later.
Okay. Now, Bitcoin, did Bitcoin start in the United States, or did it, I mean, I heard stories that some Japanese gentleman started it, or I've heard multiple stories. Are Bitcoins now all over the world? I mean, can you use Bitcoins anywhere in the world? I'm thinking of going to Europe this summer. Can I use Bitcoins over there?
They accept it, you can use it. And literally every day of more people that take it. It was invented, so-called, by a man named Satoshi Nakamoto. And we don't know who he is. He or the group of people that invented it wanted us to have freedom and be able to send from peer to peer. And therefore, not have the government have so much control and so much fee over us. Mm-hmm. Because if we're good, honest citizens, we pay our taxes, we're entitled to some freedom. Why can't I do what I want with the money that I've earned and pay tax on? And so blockchain is a phenomenal thing. And again, you're going to see in the future everything in the world will exist on the blockchain. All data, everything there is stored. It's not hackable. It's a great place to put your health, your ID, your proof that you've been approved for something. You never have to fill out that same form again. Everyone can go back to that one place and look it up. So they're putting cars with VIN numbers on. They're going to put a VIN number eventually for every car in the world. Now you know if that car's ever really been in an accident or not. Really an invention, right? How about all of your health records? You're traveling some other country in the world, something happens. And it's 2 in the morning here. Who are they calling? You don't even know where your records are.
Right.
Bring it right up in the blockchain. Instantly, there's everything. How about media? How about I post an article? Nobody can take it down, and nobody can change my words. What I say are my words.
Right.
That's the beautiful thing about a blockchain.
Okay.
Freedom.
Now, do I get like a user account ID for my Bitcoin? I know it's just I got to log in, just like I log in from my email address or something like that. Is that how it works? I have a specific ID for my account. Is that correct?
If you were to join Genesis or Coinbase in the United States and you want to put, say, $500 in, you're going to make up your little password and your little username like you do everywhere else. And then they're going to give you what's called a private key. They're going to give you a long bunch of numbers.
Right.
And they're going to give you 12 words. You have to keep those no matter what. You can never lose them. So if you want, take a picture, print it out, put it in the vault, but you cannot lose those. Now, as long as you use the same device, you can always log in and out. You will not use those codes. Those codes are just to lose the device.
Will there be a way to possibly have my code, so to speak, encrypted so that nobody, can penetrate it or, steal it? I don't know. With other, we hear so much about encryption today and security and cybersecurity, and with this growing explosion of Bitcoins and crypto, is that in use already? Or in other words, if I buy, let's say, a tremendous amount, is there going to be some way to sort of protect my account without?
Yes. So again, the coin itself is not hackable, but where you put it could be. So you're going to find a place. Paper wallet's not hackable. It's not live. It's not online. And if no one knows the numbers because you popped it up, they don't know how to find you.
Right.
And if you use a cold wallet, it is offline. They did invent a new cell phone that I did invest in, and it has a cold wallet in it, meaning my coins are in there, but they're not live, they're not in the internet. Need to use them? Then I can. Now, technically, I only need a few $100s to go out and do things, right? I can leave that in an app in my phone and not worry about that. I move that into something offline. I don't need that typically every day to just
I see.
use Google. And every day there's a better product invented. Every day.
Okay. Now, it would appear to me now that right now more people are investing in Bitcoins like they're buying a stock to watch it appreciate rather than, quote, using Bitcoins as a means of tender to buy things or exchange in lieu of using dollars or gold or some other form of valuable currency. Is that correct? Would you say more people are really just investing and hoping that price is going to go up? Or is there being more and more usage, like interacting, using it as currency?
I would say both. It was not invented for us to actually invest in. It was invented for us to just use, and as more people used it and bought it and didn't use all of it, its value went up because more people kept buying. So it's truly both, and I think one day it might balance out to some degree. But again, like when a new company comes out, like an IPOs, and you can buy into them, and when they come out and the product is good and you hold it for 5 or 10 years, it can become an investment. And that's why at the moment we're discussing whether it's security tokens. And we're having many discussions because we think that something should do with the SEC, registered tokens. I think Americans will feel safer if they know it is that way, and we will trade those on an SEC platform.
Okay.
However, that's the United States.
I want to make sure we get this in before the show wraps. How do people get a hold of you, Mary, if they were interested?
So the best way to get Twitter, BLU.
Right. We've said the Twitter, but what is your email address again now, please?
And my email address is Mary@Blue with no E, Angel Investor. Email me anytime. And I'm actually getting involved with many of the products that are coming out now.
Could you possibly repeat that? I think we might have had a little trouble with the audio. Can you repeat again how people can get on your email again?
Okay, my email is Mary with an I.
Right.
At Blue with no E, angelinvestor.com.
Okay, very, very good. And that's fine. Great. And you are writing a book, I think you mentioned to me, which should be out soon, you think? Okay.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, we got to wrap now. Mary, it's been a delight to have you today. I can't tell you how much more I've learned about Bitcoin in this last hour than I've known up to now. And so I look forward to speaking to you again myself. And I'm sure that I will be calling you soon. Have a wonderful weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy yourself. And I'm looking forward to being a Bitcoin investor. So, again, thank you so much, Mary. Be well. Bye now. Thank you for listening and watching Ask Robert today. It has been my pleasure sharing with you up-to-date information about the stock market and business, as well as investing, financing, real estate, and other commercial and general subjects. My guests are specifically chosen by me to provide sharp thoughts and ideas on the various subjects affecting the economy in a unique and informative manner. I enjoy answering your calls, and you can reach me at 561-483-2334 or by email at bobseibel, BOBSEIBEL @yahoo.com. Remember, knowledge is power. Dare to be great because so few people make the effort. This has been Robert Seibel. I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Have a great weekend.